Righty. So while we wait for people to jump on, or we'll see if people jump on here on a Thursday night. I never really know. Um, so today I am kind of talking about what's going on in the world. It's a lot of hurricanes, earthquakes, all these things going on, and they're going on in the places that we normally go to. So, trying to figure out what we're doing. Are we still traveling? Are we sitting still? Are we in the States? Are you overseas? What are you doing? So, if you're just joining, go ahead and say, hey, let me know that you're there. But I really want to talk about that because I'm due to go on 3 trips over the next month. But the primary place that I will be in is in Mexico. But Mexico just had an earthquake, like a level 5 or 6 earthquake, y'all. And I don't know about this. So jump on, say hello, let me know who's out there. And we're going to wait for some people to get on so we can talk about this. Hey, 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 TN. I think that's Tracy. How are you? Who else is on here? Say hello. Don't be shy. We're going to talk about this today. As usual, I got my wine. Today I have the cup with the lipstick. This is still my Georgia peach wine. Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna jump on into it because I don't know how long we're gonna be out here tonight. So today I kind of want to talk about what is going on in this world and what we're doing about it. Making some moves. Are we sitting still? What should we do? Because like I was just saying, I'm going to be traveling in a couple of states, but ultimately I'm going to be going to Mexico in the next month. And I don't know if any of you all are in Mexico, but they've been having some earthquakes, like some big ones, at least what I think are big. They're like magnitude of 5 or 6. And they're all over Mexico, it seems like. And then my friends in Dominican Republic, they just got over dealing with some hurricanes. So I'm like, these are islands, like these are little dots in the sea. So, when these hurricanes are coming in, they're really taking over. This isn't like something small. So I'm like, Puerto Rico, they were without power due to the hurricanes. It's just a lot going on. I saw, what country was that over near China in that area? It was a tsunami or earthquake, took out the whole bridge. I'm just kind of like, what are we doing? Like, are we okay to be going out and about? Tracy said she's scheduled to be out of USA by December. Hopefully by December we're over this season. Like it, I don't know if there's an earthquake season, but I was reading for Mexico, in Mexico City, they typically have earthquakes on September 19th. And when I go into Mexico, I'm actually going for Day of the Dead, which the actual Day of the Dead, I believe, is November 2nd, but the festivities start October 27th, 28th. And they like the main festivities, but they last like most of the month of October. They go into the month of November. So I'm like, is this stuff going to balance out? Is it going to trail off over the next couple of months, or is it going to keep going? And, I'm seeing some of my expat friends leave Mexico City. I'm not sure about the coast. Well, I'm actually seeing that some of the people on the coast are, that ones from Atlanta are here in Atlanta. So I'm just starting to wonder, do I have the right idea to actually go to Mexico? Like, is that ideal? Is that smart at this point? Or should I be sitting my butt here in the US? Because I'm not in a place with natural disasters. Atlanta is not a natural disaster type of place. Like we had a flood without water. That means it just we have no bodies of water. It just rained a lot. Like it rained so much that we ended up having a flood back in 2019. Actually, the same time in 2019. And the reason I know that because it was my anniversary. So the week of September 19th, we ended up having a flood here in Atlanta. But usually we don't get, like, we get a tornado warning. We used to have to put the book over our head. So to this day, I'm not sure what the book over our head was going to do for us. But we had we had to put the book over our head, and we had to that was all we had. We didn't get hurricanes or floods or tornadoes or any of that stuff. So I'm really not used to natural disasters. um Tracy said the US experiences some of the same things. Florida, Texas, NOLA. But and that's the thing, like I've never lived in any of those places. Like for the majority, I lived in Atlanta and I lived in New York. And even in New York, I mean it snows a lot, but when it does, people just still go out in the snow. So for then, like, we really weren't. I'm just, I haven't lived anywhere with natural disasters. So for me to go somewhere with natural disasters is pretty far fetched. When I was in Costa Rica, they had an earthquake, and that didn't work out well for me. I didn't know it was an earthquake at the time, but they had an earthquake, and then they had that flood. Like that was a lot for me. So I'm just like, I don't know. Is it okay to really go to these places? Should we go to these places, or should we really just sit still? So that's really what I'm trying to figure out. I know, Tracy, the book over the head. I don't know what that's about. Uh, so right now, I have plans to go. I did book an Airbnb that is refundable until the day before. I mean, I'm sure if I was to cancel, the Airbnb people wouldn't be happy, but as is life. So I do have an Airbnb that is refundable until the day before I check in. And I did the Delta. Delta now has basic, and then they have main cabin. So as well, main tickets. So as long as you do the main tickets, you can actually change the flights now whenever you want to with Delta. So they have no change fees. You just pay the difference in pricing. So that's the good thing about Delta right now. I think Southwest is also doing it where they give you a credit, and then those credits you can use. Those credits never expire, which is good because I have a credit from like over a year ago when I was going to LA when the tickets were like $50 and I never went. So I still have that credit to with Southwest as well. But that's the thing, you gotta know. So I have the tickets available, so if something does go down, I can just change my tickets and cancel the Airbnb for free. So that's the big thing about that, just making sure you can figure it out. Tracy said, I have a plan to evacuate for an evacuation contingency plan. I have an evacuation contingency plan for when I travel to Belize, although hurricane season will be over by December. What does your plan consist of? I don't know that I really have a plan. I mean, I carry my insurance through Safety Wing. And then I also have insurance through my Chase Sapphire, which I can post the link to both of those. So, Safety Wing is one of the few insurances that still insure you 30 days after you leave the US. So, what a lot of people don't realize is that when you have insurance through these credit card companies, Alliance, and a lot of these other places, they only insure you for 30 days after you leave the US, unless you have a long term plan. I know Chase Sapphire does not offer a long term plan, it's 30 days or 31 days. So I do Safety Wing, which actually you can pay for Safety Wing monthly, and I can send y'all the link. I'll post the link for Safety Wing. I'm actually an ambassador for them, but I just became an ambassador. I had already had Safety Wing since I left last year, but it's like 30. I think to me and my son was like $80 a month. And that included insurance where we could be reimbursed. So when I had hurt my shoulder, y'all, all of that was reimbursed by Safety Wing, minus I think like the first $200. So I just sent them the notes, which in the other countries they don't keep medical notes like we do, but I would just send them the notes, and then they would direct deposit the money into my account for my for all of my medical bills. But Safety Wing also has it where they will do the emergency evacuation, medical evacuation. I had it for my son as well. If anything happened, they will fly a caregiver in. So I always, like, when I'm traveling more than 30 days overseas, I always do Safety Wing. And they also had like COVID-19 protection and everything. And then if I'm traveling under 30 days, so like when I go to Mexico, I'm going to be traveling under 30 days. So I won't get Safety Wing. I just book something on my Chase Sapphire, because as long as you book one thing on your Chase Sapphire, then you can get the insurance. So whether that's the hotel, the car, whatever, the flight, you just got to book one thing, and then you can get the insurance and they'll cover all of that. I've had, yeah, I always had something go wrong. I don't know why, but I've used Chase Sapphire for luggage. When I went to Italy, our luggage was delayed, and I think we got like together $600. Me and the guy that I was with at the time, we dating. He ain't really want nothing, so he spent like $50 to $100, and me, yeah, I spent the rest of it. So I had a whole little Italian shopping spree. Now I will say Italian shopping is not as fun as you would think that it is, because my ass couldn't fit most of those clothes. So y'all, you want to know where I ended up shopping? H&M. That's where I ended up shopping. He had an H&M in Italy, and I ended up spending all of my money there. The clothes were cute though, they were cuter than our H&M, I think. But I ended up spending all of my money there. But they sent me the money. Like, I did get my money back. So that's what I normally do. You said your travel is get the hell off the island emergency fund, first time possible, in addition to travel insurance. Okay. Yeah, I think I have one of those. I always have an emergency fund. Shit, I got an emergency fund here in Atlanta, because I don't never know what's gonna happen. If you join in, say hey, let me know who's on. We're just kind of talking about what to do. Right now, it's a lot of natural disasters going on. It's hurricane season. I guess it's earthquake season. I don't know what seasons these are, but it's just a lot going on. And we like, what are we going to do? Like, what happens if we are out here, headed out here, we get stuck out here? What's going on? Because, like, these are things we kind of need to talk about. I believe in talking about the stuff don't nobody else want to talk about. And I mean, it's important, because we out here, you gotta think about it. What's the damn country? I know I should know, this is bad. Me and my y'all, I am the worst person at geography. I always feel like as long as the pilot know how to get there, we good. But I'm the worst person at geography. So what is the country with Putin that's fighting right now? Let me know that. Yeah, I know. That's bad. It's horrible. Anyway, they're kind of at the point where they're starting to declare war again. Like, like, I mean, I wasn't going over there. That ain't my cup of tea. I don't go to the Middle East. And you know what's so crazy is that I do astrocartography. Russia and Ukraine, yeah, they not doing right. They're not doing right. So I do astro cartography, and it's so crazy because my best places are supposed to be in the Middle East. Well, y'all ain't getting me in the Middle East. I mean, ever since Afghanistan and Iran and Iraq, I ain't going out there. I don't even know if travel insurance covers those places. Those places may be off. Most travel insurance, if it's already something going on there, they won't cover it. Like, it's like you knew they were at war, so why you go over there? Like, so they don't even cover stuff like that. But me, I'm not a Middle East person. I know people go out there and they say it's beautiful and amazing. I just I can't really do the Middle East. That's not really my thing. And like I said, I don't even know if you're going to be covered if you go out there with any travel insurance. Because most of the time, if you go somewhere in the middle of war or something crazy, they kind of like, well, you shouldn't have went out there, so we're not covering you. Um, I don't know if that's the case. If there's hurricanes and earthquakes, I don't know. Like with the hurricane, when the hurricane leaves, it doesn't typically turn back around. But with the earthquake, like when the earthquake is done, do like more earthquakes come? Or is it like with the hurricane, like Hurricane Louisa's gone, so now here comes Hurricane Kelly. Like, is it is it like that? Like earthquake, I don't know. Do they name earthquakes? I don't really think I know enough. I obviously need to be doing some more studying on weather or quakes or something. I don't know. I don't think I really know what I need to know to be traveling to some of these places. And I think I really need to do better. Are y'all keeping an eye? Like, what kind of research are you doing on these places before you leave to go to them? Outside of saying, I know this particular place, I want to do this, I want to do A, B, C, or D. What type of research are you doing? Do you know like the lay of the land? Do you know the weather? Do you know the natural disasters? What exactly do you really know? Because this is I'm starting to realize I don't know shit. Like I don't know half the stuff I should know about what's going on in these countries. Like I really should know if these like now I have been keeping up with Kenya and their election. And I know that it's never safe for us to go over to most nations during election time, right? So I do keep up with that part of it. But what are you looking at before you leave? Like, all right, what are you making sure? Okay, I need to know this and I absolutely gotta know this. And if you just jumped on, make sure you say, hey, let me know you're out there in comment land. But yeah, let me know what is it that you're looking into before you leave because I don't think I'm doing enough research. I'm still trying to go to Mexico City. I'm still trying to go to Day of the Dead. I got my apartment for a month that cost me way more money than Mexico should cost me, but that's okay because I know it's high season for Day of the Dead, Muerta del Dia. So I do realize that. So I'm cool with that. But, I'm seeing these earthquakes. They're a little scary. So what now? What do I do? How do I prepare myself? Tracy said have the emergency fund. I got the travel insurance. Should I be pulling back on this trip? Should I move forward? Exactly what should I do? What do you think? Y'all are quiet tonight. We'll see. I don't know. Um, Research political, social upheaval issues, weather, human trafficking. I don't think I look at human trafficking as much. To me, it just seems like all of these places have human trafficking. I know where I am in Atlanta, they say human trafficking is pretty heavy as well. When I looked into Dubai, that was one of the reasons I did not want to go to Dubai because they say that a lot of times they bring refugees in and people from countries that they're trying to escape. And what they do is they promise them a good job and they bring them over there and they basically traffic them and they use them either as slaves to make Dubai a wonderful country and just as beautiful as it is, or they basically traffic them, use the young girls. However they want to use them. So that's one of those things when people are like, "Oh, you should go to Dubai. It's so wonderful." But, it's wonderful by, you know, why is it wonderful? Who is it that put all the work into it? You know, it's a lot of times it's Africans that they get to come over there and they use them and they abuse them and things like that. So that's really my thing about a place like Dubai and the human trafficking. So I do look at the ones that have big human trafficking, but otherwise, I don't know that I really look at them as much as I should. So that may be a problem that I have. I'm gonna look at that more, and I guess I need to start watching CNN, y'all, because I'm not really knowing enough about the politics and the weather and that type of thing. So I am gonna do that before I head over to Mexico. Um, and I don't know. I think that's it. So I'm gonna look at that. I'm actually gonna go to Florida. I'm gonna go to New York, and I'm gonna head over to Mexico, and I will let you all know how that goes. I do have some big things coming out lately. Hold on, I want to read this. Tracy said, I do been warned about Puerto Vallarta being an area in Mexico with high female trafficking. Being a single woman, I pay attention. I check the crime in areas that I'm traveling to. I'm curious to know what you use to check the crime. So I've heard not about Puerto Vallarta, but I've heard like that Cancun, you basically the Yucatan Peninsula, Cancun, Playa del Carmen, not Merida. Merida is very safe, but those areas in particular are pretty unsafe. I was gonna go to Playa del Carmen, and I just kind of felt like it was fun for me as a single woman. But I wasn't sure I wanted to take my son there. It's kind of a place where they target tourists, and I wasn't sure that going with my son was necessarily the best idea. They do a lot of pickpocketing and petty crimes, stealing your purse, things like that. So and people that I live there, a lot of them say they've never been victim to it. But when you look on the expat groups, there's a lot of crime that goes on in those areas. So I really just don't. I don't know. Like I just decided not to go to that area for that reason. And I said, well, let me go to Mexico City. But Mexico City people talk about the cartel, but I feel like the cartel don't want nothing to do with me and my son. I feel like we just not a good, we ain't even worth the time. They probably gonna help us cross the street, if anything. So I'm not really as worried about that. But I did notice, even in the expat groups in Mexico City, I don't see a lot of families that's posting, or a lot of single parents either. I just really don't see that in Mexico City. And what one of the families told me is that Mexico City is more that place that is for singles. So I didn't know that about Mexico City. But I think that everywhere we go, a lot of these countries are not first world countries, right? And they're going to have all kinds of crime. They're going to have crime. They're going to have these natural disasters and all these things that we kind of have to deal with. And it's just important that we know this ahead of time and that we do our research. So I'm definitely going to start doing more research. I think that's really, really important. So I hope that if nothing else, there was a lot of takeaways for this one, to start doing these things, doing some research. I mean, even for me, I realized I'm not doing enough research. I did take a self-defense course though. I feel like I should take it again because I don't know that I remember half the stuff I learned from it. You only see it once. It's kind of hard, but I do think it may be important to take that self-defense course again. Because, a lot of times we're going as single women, single moms, and we need to know how to protect ourselves if something ever happens. And I mean, plenty of things happen, not just here, but overseas as well. So, we need to be able to protect ourselves all the way around. And not just have the tools, as far as the travel, insurance and things of that nature. But I think it's important that we have the tools for all the different things that we're dealing with when we're going abroad. The goal is to go, live our best life, be happy, be free, be all of that. But, in doing so, we still need to make sure that we're protecting ourselves. We still need to be vigilant. When I did go to the self-defense course, the main thing they said is pay attention. They said most people that are going to attack someone, that are going to rob them, that are going to, kidnap them, it's typically the person that's not paying attention. It's when you're looking down in your phone, you're just not paying attention. And those are the people that they go after. And they say always carry a weapon of some type, whether that's the keys. Because I know when I'm going out, I don't have keys, but I actually have a pen that's actually I guess like a dagger, but it's a pen. Maybe I would carry that in my hand, but always carry something in your hand for self defense. My son uses crutches. They told me use the crutch. They said you use his crutch, beat him up, they'll run away. 9 times out of 10, you'll get rid of them. He was like, y'all walking around with a weapon every single day. Be like, hey, Cam, hold on a second. But basically, they say always be vigilant, whether you're here, because I mean, hell, Atlanta ain't that safe either. But whether you're here in Atlanta, you're in Mexico City, you're in Bahamas, you're, overseas in Nigeria, wherever you are, you want to make sure that you're vigilant and you're paying attention to everything that's going on around you, because that's important. That's how we become victims of all of these different things. It's normally the person that's looking down at their phone. Also, you want to make sure you're not extra flashy, wearing jewelry and all of that. Like, for the most part, I'm gonna wear my crystals and my beads, to be honest. But there's certain things that just scream American. Like they said, those fans that go around your neck, that's why I haven't bought one, because they said that screams American. Like that is a dead giveaway, if nothing else, when you have that fan that goes around your neck. So and you come in there with all this flashy jewelry, that just screams rob me, right? So you want to make sure that you're doing things like that just to be on the safe side. And